I always say, look at the fruit.
Yeah.
You can say all day long, oh, this person is not this, not that, but where's the fruit?
Yeah.
If you thriving and growing and you're not where you were 5 years ago, 5 months ago, then that means something is changing, something is evolving. I think the biggest thing in our relationship was the fact that it was communication. Like, you had to learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to communicate. As a child growing up, it was like, you do as I say, not as I do. And what goes on in my house stays in my house. And what I talk about, that's it. That's law. And I don't care about your opinion. Opinion does not matter. You don't pay no bills. You have no opinion. And that ain't even right. Because how do you teach your children how to communicate?
And I really encourage women like that, that's listening for real. You have to, because I know a lot of women are like, I don't want girlfriends. They this, they that. You don't have to have a bunch.
No.
But if you got one person that say, I believe in this. I believe in you. I hear your story. I've been through it too. Hey, it's Heaven
and Nyja.
And welcome to InHerself Podcast,
where we talk about everything womanhood, whether it's finances, faith, family, and everything in between.
So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All right. Today, we're going to take it back.
Where we going?
2017.
Uh-oh.
Lay the foundation. How we met, and you know how we got here.
Bet.
Well, we have two different stories. I'm not going to be honest with you.
Here we go.
So you tell your perspective and I tell mine. So 2017, boom. Paint the picture, boom.
So 2017, boom, is what happened. I went to church and
I got out of the car.
No, I went to church because I feel like that's where we met, because you was on the stage doing your sha-na-na singing and stuff. You had a nasty attitude and was acting bougie and everything. And I said, oh, she can sing, but she got a nasty attitude. And then I went to the bathroom and you and the other homegirl was sitting in the lobby. And you was, I think it was what?
Can I pause you?
Okay.
We have to define the definition of meeting somebody. Oh my God. Because meeting is a mutual, hi, how are you?
I met you. I said, I saw you. That was the first time I saw you there.
I need you to rewind. Because baby said, I met you. And you didn't meet me, but go ahead.
Okay. So first time that we met each other was at an event a mutual friend of ours had, and we sang together. And so that was the first time we actually like, hey, how you doing? I'm Heaven, I'm Nyja.
Right. That's exactly how we met.
But the first impression of you when I seen you was actually on that stage.
Sure. I have a first impression of you too, but I won't do that because I don't like to tell your business.
All she gonna talk about is the fact that I had on wrinkle pants.
Baby pants was baby's pants was
That's all she gotta say. And I said this to you. I said, so I was gonna just throw them in the dryer real quick, but I didn't have time because I was running late.
I didn't really like that they was wrinkled, but beautiful voice, talented.
That's ridiculous.
So after that, I really don't. She called me. Irma came. She called me and was like, where you going for Irma? I said, I'm staying here. Irma is the cat 4. I'm a Floridian. Then they said, evacuate or you gonna die. I said, I got to go.
Right. So we both ended up going to Georgia.
Yes. And we I think, did we go to the mall in Georgia? We did something.
Went to the mall.
And like life just started spilling over.
Yeah.
Like everything that we had been through, and the connection just started from there. I think, again, I told all my business. I was a toddler. I was like 19.
You were very much so a baby.
I was very young. I had just left college. Excuse me. I had just got kicked out of college. A lot of situations.
Also, you telling your business now, not me.
Okay. It feels a little bit better when I tell
it. Okay.
Because it's my truth.
And now somebody else telling your truth.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. So, I got kicked out of college. It was a situation. I came back home. I like to say I was homeless, but I know I had a home to go to, like my mama's house, but it just didn't work out that way. I went to my grandma's house, and then that's how it happened, right?
Okay.
Is that your perspective on how it happened?
Okay. That's your truth.
Yeah, it is.
Let you tell your truth.
I understand why you're not speaking.
Baby ain't had no house to go to.
I did, but I didn't. And then we came back from Georgia, and
I met your mom and your grandmother and your family, your uncle and everybody, and the house was very nice.
Yeah, it's a nice house in Georgia. And then once we came back, just started clicking. I started coming to your house all the time. Like literally all the time. And you said, why don't you just stay here? Because you hear too much. You hear more than me.
Yeah.
And so I started staying there. And then, I don't know. I know that it was divine. Like God definitely was in it. because it became a point where it was like, you got a lot going on.
And we had best friends who were mad that we were just friends. It wasn't anything. Literally, just we weren't even friends at that point. I kind of considered you as like my little sister at that point. Like you were very much so inexperienced and young, whatever. You kind of reminded me of myself, just slightly, but minus the kids and the drama and stuff that came with it.
Right.
But I took you in as like, dang, I want to see you win situation.
100%.
And definitely had a pure heart. Everything about it didn't feel like it was forced. We kind of it just happened over time.
Right.
We came to be who we are today. Like very much so confiding in each other, paying bills, experience, living life, mature friends at this point.
I think that some people won't understand, some people will. You literally, outside of my mom being the amazing person that she is, and she did the best that she could do in raising me, but at that moment at 19, you literally changed my life for good. I'm not going to say anything bad, but like bringing out the bad in me. It sounds bad, but bringing out the trauma, bringing out the attitude, bringing out a lot of things. Yes, you had a lot of work to do yourself too, but it still was okay. So I love you. I see me in you. I think, my opinion, you saw me as you, and you wanted me to live a totally different life.
Facts.
Than you lived.
Facts.
Yeah. That's what I received from that.
It was 100% facts. What I saw was, if I could redo things over again, and I had the opportunity to change the dynamic of somebody's life, that is what I saw, was like, do not do this because I'm living this.
Yeah.
And it's not all bad. It wasn't, I'm not going to sit up here and say like, oh my God, well, it's me. It wasn't that. But it was, if I can do some things over again because somebody kind of held my hand, this is how I would do it. And so it did. It brought up the good, the bad, the ugly. We done been through some things. Now I'm not even talking about just with us. I mean, from outside, people don't understand the dynamics of our friendship and taking like, who is this girl? Who she is? She just came.
1000%.
And I'm like, I'm just trying to help.
But I don't. A lot of people don't even understand how college really like changed me for the worst.
Yeah.
Like, it was not a good experience. It definitely was, all right, if y'all gonna send y'all kids to college, know that they're gonna be exposed to a lot of things. And that's really what it was.
Yeah.
And I just became this person. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me wrong. If you say my name too hard, like, what's good? And it was like, you don't have to live your life this angry young woman. And that's really what you exposed. And then in the internal, you was like, okay, so there's some things that I need to fix too.
Yeah.
Like, it was like twofold.
Yes.
And like you said, a lot of people didn't understand it. I mean, to this day, they still don't. But the history and the years that's been, if we're in 2023.
And the growth. I always say, look at the fruit.
Yeah.
You can say all day long, oh, this person is not this, not that, but where's the fruit?
Yeah.
If you thriving and growing and you're not where you were 5 years ago, 5 months ago, then that means something is changing, something is evolving. I think the biggest thing in our relationship was the fact that it was communication. Like, you had to learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to communicate. As a child growing up, it was like, you do as I say, not as I do. And what goes on in my house stays in my house. And what I talk about, that's it. It's law. And I don't care about your opinion. Opinion does not matter. You don't pay no bills. You have no opinion. And that ain't even right. Because how do you teach your children how to communicate? And so I think that when we used to argue or we used to bump heads, it's because you didn't know how to express yourself. And I was learning how to express myself. I had just came out of a toxic environment, toxic everything. And so I was still broken. But even in my brokenness, I didn't want you to hurt. Right. And so I'm like, I'm going to cry myself through this, but she gonna get it. You know what I mean? So it was a lot. I'm about to get much talk about it right now.
I know, me too. I'm like, wait a minute. Let's do some kiki. Because again,
it was rough, man. It was rough. And not just from a family dynamic, friends and church and just different things. And then I was going through a whole separation. It was, my kids was young. Like, it was a lot of turbulence going on, but God was pruning. And you know, pruning does not feel good at all.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful for that. You are, if I didn't say it before, I'll say it again. Like, I'm super proud of you. super proud of the woman that you have become and are blooming to become. I'm not trying to make you emotional,
Yeah, please.
but I'm super proud of you for sure.
I really appreciate that.
For sure.
I really appreciate that. I think for me, because I've heard people say negative things about you. That's just what it is. But I think when you know somebody's pain and you know where they come from and you know or you see their potential or you know their heart for real, it's like you really can't say nothing to me to make me be like I'm straight on her. Like because there were times that I felt like, well, I'm not hurt either. So we were each other's sounding board.
Yeah.
It was like, y'all don't get it, but we really get it.
Really do.
And so for me, learning in that experience, it was growing up, I was good at telling other people what their situations look like.
Yeah.
But I never could figure out what mine looked like. So you would be like, talk.
Yes.
I don't know how to express.
You don't know
how
I
feel.
How many times I was like, just talk about it. He was like, what do you mean? How do I do that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, just, hey, can we have a conversation? But because you've never done that. And that is the key to a lot of, even in my marriage, friendships, business, whatever, communication is key in everything. I can tell you the worst thing in the world without having to argue and fight with you. My facts are my facts, your facts are your facts, and we don't come to understand it. Like what I learned and I started to teach you was I don't go into any situation without understanding what the result is. How do I want both parties to leave? I want you to leave whole. So with that being said, if you say something to piss me off,
right,
I'm still going to be like, what's the goal? The goal is to get an understanding. And so let me change my approach and understand that even if we don't get an understanding, I spoke my piece and you spoke yours, and then let time and the communication never fails.
But that just comes with growth.
Never
Because
fails.
if there was a camera on the wall of the arguments,
oh my,
well, I'm done with you. Well, like people would be like, and y'all
Still
here
friends
today? Yeah, because she loved literally the hell out of me. Not like people say, oh, I love it. No. She loved the worst out of me. And people don't have that. And I really encourage women like that that's listening for you have to, because I know a lot of women are like, I don't want girlfriends. They this, they that. You don't have to have a bunch.
No.
But if you got one person that say, I believe in this, I believe in you, I hear your story. I've been through it too. But to say, I'm gonna love you through it.
And mean it. Because you have a lot of women who say, oh, I'm your friend, girl. I got your back. Da-da-da.
And the moment in which,
oh my,
you do something that's like, oh, I don't like that.
Like, I'm straight. I'm good. I don't want nothing. But are you really invested? Because at the end of the day, a real friendship is going to be sandpaper to you. They're going to rub and rub and rub and rub, but it should be refining. It should not be the same thing. Well, I'm after your man. I want your pockets and we blah, blah, bling, bling. No, tell me the truth. Like if I really rubbed you the wrong way or my attitude is out of control, tell me what's up for real. Like, sis, let's talk.
Well, I had a hard time even telling you that because I didn't know, like, what do I say? I don't want to make her angry because I'm used to if I say something, that's going to make somebody angry and then that's going to be a big blow up. But now it's like, just say how you feel.
Yeah.
Because internal, if I love you, I'm respect what you're saying.
Yeah.
My goal is not to rah you down. It's to say, okay, maybe I don't agree. But if that makes you uncomfortable and I love you, I'm going to fix it. Because one thing women going to do is forget a man 275 times for doing the same thing. But your homegirl do something bad one time and it's like, I'm straight. How does that work?
Yeah. Big facts.
How does that work?
Big facts. But she been there when you was crying. When you called and said, he ain't no good.
Yeah.
I find him cheating. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Let's go out and get a drink. All this extra stuff. And then you done made up. And she do one thing. Misunderstanding. And I'm good.
Yeah.
Until.
But he gonna cheat. He gonna lie. He gonna steal. And you gonna say, you know what? I'm going back to my man.
My man.
It's like, I get it. But what your friend has done a lot for you.
Yes. And before he came in the picture.
That was your friend.
Let's really talk about it.
That was your friend.
That was your friend.
Okay, we can go there. Because when she got in a relationship, I felt some type of way.
Ooh, can we talk about it?
Let's go there. This transparent is honesty. I love my brother to death now. I wouldn't see you with anybody else. But there was a moment where it was like, okay, so it was me and you for a minute. Now, who is this?
Yeah.
And is he gonna take you from me? Because I don't have another level of friendship.
And can I be honest? I felt that. Like, I felt being in the middle of both. Like, how do I split my time? Because my friend has been here for years and helping me with the kids and just connecting. And then I am in a relationship now. So how do I make sure that he has my undivided attention, but I also am not pulled in both directions. So it felt like we was going out like, oh, you the third wheel. And then I think I brought it up to you. I was like, you feel some type of way. He was like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm good. And I said,
Trying to be for real.
one thing about the vibe and energy and discerning of spirits, I
Yeah.
could tell that you weren't telling the truth. I know you.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so how do I make her feel? So what I decided to do, for those of you who are trying to figure out how to make a balance, is just creating time. Like having your place and your space with your friend and having your space, your place with your man.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, that's what it is, because you make time for what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I live with him. Like, so this is what, you know what I mean? But if once a month or whatever, every other week, we got a podcast now, right? But before that, it was like, oh, let's get some crab legs. Go get something to eat or whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
But just kind of make time, you know? But I felt that.
No, yeah. In all honesty, I felt that way. But now looking back, because it was so long ago, it's like, get out your feelings.
Right.
Because you don't have no man. You don't have to treat nobody like
that inbox gonna be full.
You
I'm
don't have
telling
to treat
you.
nobody like that because you don't have no man. Let that girl live her life and be great. But I just think that because it was just me and you for so long, it was like,
who is this new person?
Who is this new person?
Mhm.
And I just think that you have to learn how to create balance.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. So to go back a little bit. So I lived with her. We lived together for a long time.
Mhm.
And then she got in a relationship and then I moved out.
Yeah.
Still was a level of definitely friendship, but I think the molding of the friendship came when we lived together, when we started seeing each other nasty draws, not literal, but like when you see somebody I feel like you don't know nobody for real unless you stay overnight with them or unless you live with them for real.
Yeah.
You don't know somebody for real. And that literally, that's when the pressing, the crying, the breakthroughs, the Holy Ghost, the casting out demons, all of that happened.
Even depression. I didn't know that you battled with depression.
Yeah.
And I did too.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was familiar to me, I saw it and I recognized and I said, this is what's going on. Like, I don't know if you ever put a name to it, but let me just categorize it. It's depression. It was sadness. It was, where's my life going? What am I doing with my life? Like, I don't know, left to right, loss of job.
I messed up this relationship, that relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. The enemy playing with your mind. You know what I mean? Not finding purpose in all those things and being vital. And I did too. I was the same way. At being older than you does not matter. I still dealt with the same thing, feeling insecure, feeling like I wasn't beautiful, feeling like I was not, my life wasn't going the way that I wanted it to go or quickly or as quickly, or being misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the biggest thing for me because I battled with rejection.
Right.
From my childhood or not being accepted. So when people naturally was like, I don't like her because I don't know what she thinks she all this, or she came to the church and she felt like that. And I was like, I didn't come for any of those things. I literally came because I love God for real.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and I don't know, you can agree to disagree, that during the moment from like 2017 to like 19 was one of the roughest spaces in my life that I can count on. Like, the enemy had a field day, like suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, don't even worry about it. And that's why I say, like, purpose, like God said to save both of my children.
Yeah.
I got to put y'all together.
Yeah.
I got to figure out something, because where we are now is like, oh, God did that.
I mean, he did his big one.
Like, he did his big one.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
Not even in the same space, place, mental, any of those things. Like, it's funny now because when those thoughts try to creep up, I'm like, oh, I see you.
Yeah.
And I know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to win
Yeah.
because I see you. And so it was pivotal moments for our lives, for sure.
But what would you say to the Nyja back then, or what would you say to the Heaven back then?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So today, looking at Nyja back then, I would just say take your time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to make it. Like, don't feel rushed. Because a lot of times the world we live in is everything fast-paced, fast. You got to get it. I got to go to school. I got to have kids. I got to get married. I got to move. God is time. So take your time.
Yeah.
Like where you are right in this very moment, you're where God knows you are. He can find you, but are you looking for him? Just take your time.
Yeah.
And because of that, I feel like now as I've gotten older, you have no choice but to take, because you cannot force anything to happen in your life. You cannot force it. It will happen in the season and the time that God has permitted it to be so.
Yeah.
Like I'm in real estate, and that's one of my mottos that I live in is your house is already there. We're just trying to find what God already has for you.
Right.
And so that's the way life is. So just take your time. A lot of those stressful moments back then where I felt like, oh my gosh, I gotta do it. I'm behind the 8 ball. I'm 28 and I'm this, da, da, da. And I was like, things that I have been looking for literally have just come to me. I'm not even looking for them anymore, but their doors are just opening.
Yeah.
And I'm not pressed about it.
Yeah.
That's genuine peace. And that's for you, same thing. I would just tell you, be patient.
Yeah.
And love yourself, and that you are beautiful and called and chosen. Same thing I was saying back then. Like your journey is your journey. And no, it does not look like the world's journey, but that's how God has called you to be.
Yeah. For both of us, I would say that like it would literally be like, baby girl, your past is not gonna define God's future for you. So I think that we had our own idea of what we expected our life to be like. You hear all the time, both of us, girl, I see this in you. I see, and we didn't see none of that in ourselves. We knew how to sing.
Yep.
That's one thing we knew, and we did well.
Yep.
And that's one thing we said, okay, we're gonna do this every Sunday or every Wednesday, and that's it. But we didn't see anything outside of that for ourselves.
Yeah.
And so literally I would tell, just because what you dealt with in your past is not going to define what I have for your future.
Yeah. What is the biggest lesson that you learned since we've met? Like, what is the thing that caused you to be like, I would never forget that? That taught me and changed the dynamics of my mental space.
That's a really good question. I feel like it was find yourself in God and not let people define who you are. Because I had a hard time even recognizing myself in the mirror because I had no idea who I was. All my life, it was, okay, somebody wants you to do this or do that. Or no, don't go that way because I feel like you should go right because that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
And so, again, we talked about in previous episodes, it was, well, I got to people please. I don't even want to do this. But if somebody else say, it looked good for me, I'm going to do it. And so I a lot that what you taught me was, well, what do you enjoy? What do you like doing outside of singing? Take the singing away. That's the gift that God gave you. It ain't never going to go away. What do you like to do? What do you want to see yourself be? I mean, to this day, I still struggle with that, but I know that it's about me.
Yeah.
It's all about me. And where I want to go, how I want to move, people just going to see it and be like, I'm proud of you. But my responsibility is not to make sure that everybody else agrees with the journey that I'm on. It's just not.
Facts. For me, I think it is as simple as give yourself grace to grow.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest lesson that I've learned. And I have implemented that in my children because I didn't give myself grace. I wasn't giving them grace to make mistakes. Like I became inhuman because of how my upbringing was. Like you had to be perfect and walk circumspectly and all those things. And so I did not give myself grace. So when I made a mistake, I took it hard. I took it so hard. Like, you messed up. How you gonna mess up? Get it up. Like, so bad. Until God was like, why are you being so hard on yourself? Like, if you were so perfect, you wouldn't need me. You wouldn't need me to come cover you, to lift you up, to hold you, to tell you that it's okay. That's why I died. And I know we talk a lot about, but I mean, Christ is my foundation for real. Like, I tell my husband all the time, like, he is my default. You have a computer and, you have to go back to factory reset mode. Like, he is my factory reset. Like when things are going wrong in my life, my default is him.
Yeah.
You made me, so fix me, because I'm broken.
Yeah.
And so that is what I learned in every trial situation. And I don't know why the Holy Ghost said like this about to make me cry. But
not you. She don't cry, y'all.
I don't, because I'm a thug for real. I'm a thug for real. But that's my forever lesson is, Nyja, give yourself grace to grow. Literally. It was so much so that I named Lyric Grace.
Yeah.
Because give grace. You are here still because of his grace. So why aren't you not receiving of his grace? And so, I'm not going to be emotional.
It's like, how did we get here?
I don't know.
We were just supposed to tell a story. 2017, 2018, 2019, 20, 21, 22, 20. That's a terribly long time. I told her, I said, we're going to have a party for that 10-year anniversary.
I know, right?
Because people don't make it past 5 minutes.
3 months. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
So we just wanted to, I'm very privileged to be on this journey with you, for sure. And we thought it was, an honor just to kind of introduce to everybody and let them know who we are, some of the backstory, how we met, why we vibe the way that we vibe, some of the guests that we'll have on here that sharing their stories and different things of how they overcame and how we can be better women in general, how our businesses started, you doing makeup and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. She ain't do mine, y'all.
I have done your makeup.
Today.
Get on the books. So, as usual, in herself, she is loved.
In herself, she is beautiful.
In herself, she is strong. See you guys next week.
See you next week.